We're live on YouTube and Facebook. We're live on Instagram-orama. Pow.
Wow.
How's everybody doing?
Do I look 12 times taller than Robert?
Yeah, why you
Sure
so tall?
do. Sure do. In both of them, I look way taller.
Why you so tall?
I don't know.
Why you gotta be so mean?
Hello. Happy Wednesday.
All right, we're gonna dive into a discussion about our most recommended books. Although I didn't think this one through because I need my Audible, which is on my phone.
Oh.
Which is on. Is it paused if I look?
Yep. It will not.
Wow, that's not cool.
You don't have it in your head?
No. Well, I got a few books here in person. So we'll start with this one. Boom. Boom. Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual by Jocko Willink. Very good book. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. There's only one way. So get after it. Everybody probably knows Jocko. He's a ex-Navy SEAL. He's a business coach, entrepreneurship leader. He's a great guy. And this book was signed by one of my friends who was a big fan of Jocko. But I like his just very cut to the chase. You know, don't sugarcoat anything, don't fluff anything. Get down to basics and make it work. So, Discipline Equals Freedom, super easy read, like a coffee table read. Recommend that. Speaking of, you didn't grab Deep Nutrition?
I don't know where it is.
It's by the bed, on the bedside. You want to grab that?
No, I mean we can just talk about it.
Oh, people like visuals. They want to see visuals. I'll talk about this while you grab Deep Nutrition. Or you can talk about this while I grab Deep Nutrition.
No, go ahead.
All right, so the next one is another coffee table book. It's called Cowboy Ethics: What It Takes to Win at Life. This is literally the simplest book ever. I mean, like, it's mostly just pictures, and when you have words, there's not many words at all. But this is like just a super good down to earth. You know, you read this, you like understand how human beings overcomplicate things. If you just get down to basics, life is better. So, huge fan of that book from just a simplistic, do good standpoint.
You do your books first, and then we'll talk about that one.
All right, let's talk a little bit about mindset. Have to give a
This
shout out.
is a really good book.
Have to give a shout out to my main man right there, Marcus Aurelius Anderson, The Gift of Adversity. Actually, just got on off a phone call him yesterday talking about this book. But he's a great guy, super good guy, and great book. I'm also a huge fan of Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way book, which I don't have. I don't know where I put it. I probably lent it to somebody because it's probably my most gifted book. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, all about stoicism.
Also, another really great book.
This one, Mastery, is also amazing. This is all about how to double down on something and just, like, you have jack of all trades and you have masters. I personally resonate more with the master of your craft style of philosophy because I feel like if you're able to just double down on something, anything, and become the absolute best you can be at it, your ability to impact the world in a positive way by going ultra deep on a topic that you have passion for is very transformative. And I feel like you do that by being a master at your, chosen trade, whatever that may be. So, huge fan of this book. Robert Greene wrote a book called Mastery as well, which I'm a huge fan of. Let's talk a little bit about business books. Then we're going to switch gears and go to nutrition. This book right here, 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. This book changed how I thought about business. I never even wanted to get into business before I read this book. I was going to go off in Alaska with a hatchet and a knife and a gun, and that was going to be my reality. And then I decided that I was going to get into business after reading this book. And I don't necessarily agree with all the principles in this book, but it changed the way I thought about business in a very positive way overall. So I cannot recommend the 4-Hour Workweek enough. It's a little bit dated, but just the philosophy towards it is so incredibly paramount. That book, the 4-Hour Workweek, paired with this book, Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, is amazing. Tim Ferriss with 4-Hour Workweek has a very different approach to business as Gary Vaynerchuk does, but I feel like if you pair them both together, you get a much more holistic approach for long-term continued success in business. And I really like Gary Vaynerchuk's take on, finding something that you're passionate about and doubling down on that. And it's not about just making money, it's about making a difference and finding fulfillment. And I feel like he really eloquently talks about that in the Crush It
I think
book.
that's like super blurry.
It's focusing on the phone, that's why.
Oh.
Not cool. Let's move this a little closer. Going back a little bit.
Okay.
Focus on me, camera. So yeah, that is a couple of the books there. You want to talk about Deep Nutrition?
Deep Nutrition is my favorite book of all time.
We're actually reading this together right now.
We are reading it separately, but together at the same time. And we have talked about this book, Deep Nutrition. We have talked about this book a couple of times on here, I feel. And it is truly one of the best books I have ever read / listened to. She breaks it down so easily for the average person to understand, but brings up a lot of science, a lot of research, a lot of history. It makes it super easy to understand and digest. And I don't recommend a lot of things to my family simply because I don't want to be that person. This is what I do for a living. And if they want to know about things, then they can come and ask me. However, this is one of the things that I highly recommended to every single person in my family without them asking me about it, because I just love it so much. I think it's so good.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely been there's been a lot of shifts in the keto, low carb nutrition space. And I think as a whole, I feel people have realized that the quality of the nutrition is very important, where the sourcing comes from. I feel like that movement has gotten stronger. However, there's like polar opposite poles here. And I feel like there's an equally strong other demographic that throws caution to the wind and doesn't really care 2 iotas about where the food comes from, which is very frustrating for me. So I feel like this book does a stellar job
So good
at really breaking that down and talking about why it would be motivational and important to just dive into that and give it the importance it needs.
And the wonderful thing about it is any person with any diet can read this book and have a much better understanding of why they eat what they eat and what they should be eating and shouldn't be eating, no matter what diet you decide to do. Why do you keep doing that? I literally just took those off.
I'm hoping that it won't bounce around as much for books underneath it.
As you can tell, Robert's the one that has been sharing more of the books. I listen to more. I tend to listen to books more because I just simply don't separate the time to read. So I listen to more books, but my books are more spiritually driven, and they're not so much business. And what?
50 Shades of Grey? What are you talking about?
Get out of here. I've never read that before or watched the movie. However, my books are a lot more spiritual and religious based, and I don't think that this is quite the platform to share those on, but I did read, it's been a while back, but I did read 10% Happier, and it is a really good book. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a lot more about mindset. So that is one of the books that I have listened to other than Deep Nutrition that I really enjoyed that is not spiritually based. However, if you would like some suggestions on spiritually based books, I actually have a really good little library of those, and you're welcome to actually message me directly because I feel like this is more about fitness and nutrition related things.
I wish I had my audio.
Oh, that's a good one too. The Go-Giver.
The Go-Giver's good.
Such a good book.
I wish I had my Audible pulled up, but there's several on there that I would recommend. Atomic Habits is really, really good. I'm pretty sure James Clear wrote that, if I remember correctly. But Atomic Habits is a really good book, and it's all about habits, obviously. Man, I wish I had Audible pulled up and it wouldn't pause Instagram here.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Can I just pause y'all for 1 second? Let me just pause y'all for...
I'm afraid.
1 second, y'all. Just one...
I think you just got rid of it.
You think I got rid of it?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, so I didn't get rid of it. I didn't get rid of it.
Okay.
All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. Library. All right. Take a screenshot of this in your mind.
Oh. Okay, they actually take a bit. Oh my goodness, are you serious?
There's so many of them.
Hurry up, they're waiting.
There's so many books on there.
Sorry, you guys were gone. We were gone for so long, it felt.
Yes, but there's so many books.
There's too many books.
One of my favorite books as a kid in the outdoors was called Two Little Savages by Ernest Thompson Seton. That was like literally my favorite book as a kid, Two Little Savages. So kind of funny that all of my branding is savage right now.
We've been talking about how much we love our books for 11 minutes now.
Really?
Think other people want to join us in the conversation?
Sure, let's talk about it.
Jocko is life.
Jocko
Bookworm. Is great. Yay, I love books. Mastery is really good.
It is really good.
Into the Wild.
I haven't read the book of Into the Wild, actually.
They said Into the Wild, LOL.
Yeah.
How do you find the time to read all of these books? Are most available on audio? Okay, first, Robert is the most structured person you'll ever meet in your life. This is why Robert is a freaking savage, because when he says, I'm going to read every single day, he literally reads every single day. When he says, I'm going to work out every single day, he literally works out every single day. He does that with running. He does that with tracking his food. He does that with everything. So you don't find the time, you make the time.
Spicy.
Boom!
Spicy. Woo.
Yeah. But I am better at listening to audiobooks for sure.
I found the best time to read is I'll wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock, depending on what I've got planned that day. And then the first thing I'll do after I jump on the scale and pee is I'll take my supplements. And one of my supplements is a caffeine pill. And by simply laying in bed and reading for 30 minutes, that caffeine pill kicks in. And then I'm ready to get up and get to work and get after it with my normal work stuff. But I feel like that's a great time to just kind of read and get in the mood.
Mm-hmm. Or right before bed.
All right. Love Cowboy Ethics, Shannon Bailey said. Yeah, it's a really good one. Patrick Green. I had a book by Patrick Green. And Patrick Green is on here. Different that's Patrick
funny.
Green. But
have you read Atomic Habits? She must have jumped on after you said that. That's a really good one as well and teaches how to stop and start habits or why we do certain things.
Yes.
I also highly recommend The Secret and Manifest Now. They are great for positivity and changing your mindset. I am a Christian, so I don't believe in the universe, but God is the universe.
How does Patrick Green have 2 different profiles? He's on YouTube and Facebook. You're fixing up algorithms.
I'm
bro.
pretty sure
He's
he
on
did
Instagram
this
too. Listen to my spiritual audiobooks while I'm doing my morning walks. Helps clear my mind. Yeah, morning walks is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey from NZ. That's
New Zealand.
New Zealand. I like New Zealand.
I enjoyed Extreme Ownership by Jocko.
That's a really good one too.
Do you have a recommendation of a macro calculator?
Yes. I have a macro calculator on my website. However, I am redoing my website and it is tentatively going to launch within the next 2 weeks. And the macro calculator on my new website is thebomb.com diggity. So I would highly recommend that one.
Adam says bricks, 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 bricks.
Thank you, Adam. Boom, drop the mic.
Love audiobooks too. Deep Nutrition is an amazing book. Sure is. It's literally my favorite book right now of all time, really. Best book to help with learning discipline. Ooh.
Well, Jocko's book is called Discipline Equals Freedom.
Yeah.
So
well, I think some people didn't jump on until afterwards. That was the first book that you mentioned.
Yeah, that was.
So this is the first book that we mentioned. It is Discipline Equals Freedom, Field Manual by Jocko.
Yeah, and it's super simple too. I mean, it's like
really, like makes you want to read it.
Yeah, it's not an intimidating read.
I should read that one. It's like a little kid's book.
Yeah, you probably haven't read in about 4 months. Oh, there's a bill. Is that a bill?
What? Robert has unpaid bills in his book.
AT&T.
Is it? That's funny.
I'm sure it's paid. I haven't
That's
got any
hilarious.
Late
Anywho, that is something you guys should all know about me is I am the slowest reader of all time.
I train every day. Yes, indeed. That's the way to do it. Mm-hmm. Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. Very good book. as well, for sure.
You should totally start doing more videos or podcasts on your mindset and this type of stuff. I love picking your mind and hearing these convos.
Yeah, I'm going to. So there's a whole lot of stuff in the pipeline that y'all don't know about yet because we're secretive.
We're so secretive.
It's honestly not that we're secretive. We
Yes,
just
it is.
haven't had time to talk about it yet. But there's a lot of rebranding, not rebranding, but upgraded branding in the pipeline. And a large part of that is going to take a psychological component to the next level. And I'm in the midst of writing a book right now, and that book has a very psychological aspect spin on it as well. So I'm excited about it for sure. Faux show. So that's all the book contents. So now we're open to questions, comments, concerns,
about
feedback,
anything.
about anything and everything.
You got.
Nutrition,
What up,
keto,
Brandon?
training, all that jazz. What up, Keto Carnivore King? He has been killing the running. He makes me look like a punk. Like I'll run my 1.33 miles and be like, yeah, got my mileage today. And then I look up Brandon, he's like running 16 miles.
And then I'm over here like, when was the last time I ran?
Yeah. Brandon's a beast. Brandon is a beast.
Oh, how do you? Oh, there you go.
All right, we need some questions though, y'all. Bring on the questions.
Or statements. We're happy to hear your statements as well. Yeah, I still got to jump on and do a video for my Lady Savages.
We're going to do a video on protein prioritization and why you should or should not do it.
Are we really?
Soon. Yeah. Like I've gotten so many questions on that. And
it is truly heartbreaking, the misinformation that people are collecting.
So I just got that question literally right now.
Oh my gosh.
By Sunny.
That's funny.
What do you think about PSMF? Just had to bring it up this week. Sunny with the jokes. It truly is.
I mean, we make a joke because we literally get asked about it every week, but it's like, it's not just on the lives that we're getting asked. We are getting asked in DMs. We're getting asked in emails. We're getting asked in from our clients. We're getting asked everywhere. And it is just like, this happens with every single hype or every single time. That's like even an old thing. That is an old thing that's been around forever, but people are trying to bring it back is what it is.
Christy Newsome.
We talked about that. Yep.
That you and her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. It's a really relevant question too. It's just we've answered the question many times, and it's like how can we shout this from the rooftops louder so that more people can hear? And I don't know the answer to that. I probably should just do like a dedicated podcast episode to it or something.
Probably. Can't wait. I'll be pre-ordering that ASAP. I'll even pay for the autographed copy.
Not sure you can get an autographed copy? Oh, my book.
Oh.
Well, you don't have to pay for that. I'll get you an autographed copy because I want to.
Ways to battle low energy when overnight and starting keto. Overweight, not overnight.
All right, so let me answer this question and I'll get back to that question.
Okay. Ways to battle low energy when overweight and starting keto.
I would definitely, I don't know what your electrolytes are, but if you're just starting keto, typically when people have issues with energy, it's more likely than not an electrolyte deficiency and not getting enough fat. There is going to be a lag time for your body to know what to do with the dietary fat that you're consuming. But once your body acclimates, adapts, and your electrolytes are in check, you'll be able to upregulate the energy pretty quickly.
Also, another great way of getting energy. I know it sounds weird, unless you are actually having some like hormonal issues, but if you aren't and you're just kind of feeling like you're lacking some energy, actually putting your body into motion will actually help you get more energy. So go do a workout or go for a walk or something like that. Getting a little bit more active will actually help get you a little bit more energy and give you a little bit of a boost.
Alicia O'Connor says, you guys are great. I just discovered you. Can't wait to hear more of you.
Aww.
Well, thank you, Alicia. We're happy to have you. This is a good question, and it ties into the protein question kind of by default. Cindy Molina asks, hi there. What do you think about the thermic effect of food? So basically, the thermogenic effect of food is how much energy it takes your body to break down and assimilate and use the food that you consume. Protein takes longer to break down and use, and it therefore has a higher thermic effect of food. You burn more calories breaking down and using protein than you do with dietary fat or carbs. So a lot of people say because protein has a higher thermic effect of food, why not? I mean, you're basically burning more calories when you eat more protein. So doesn't it make more sense to eat more protein? Not necessarily. Protein is not a very good source of energy. You can get energy through protein through gluconeogenesis, which we all know about, but protein as an energy substrate is not that great. If you are fat adapted, you are getting your energy from fat, both body fat, stored body fat, and dietary fat. And the thermic effect of food, like the amount of calories that you burn from an isocaloric intake in protein versus an isocaloric intake in dietary fat, pales in comparison to the amount of calories that you would burn from the increase in energy you're getting from the fat. Does that make sense, or did I lose people there, you think?
Yeah, it made sense.
That made sense.
And also, if you think about it, your brain needs fat, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, all of those things need fat, need the lubrication. And then on top of that, you have to get the fat as your energy source, as your fuel source, and things like that. So yeah. Oh, poor connection.
Boom.
So yes, you might be able to get away with such little fat for your brain or for your joints or whatever. But then you also have to think about where you're getting all your energy from.
Yeah.
Gotta have plenty of that.
Truckology 101. Hi, guys. Thanks for your time. Great talking with you today, ma'am. Definitely let me know if you get stuck, hit a plateau, have any questions. I mean, by all means, shoot me an email. I'm happy to help, brother. And I'm excited for the journey.
We need to connect again soon in Fayetteville. I will be traveling that way the last week of April.
Who's that? I can't read it. Let's pull up his profile. I can't. I don't know the Instagram username.
Are we terrible? I'm
sorry. I'm gonna have to go to his profile and see his name. Message your name.
More bricks with animal-based protein coming.
Yes, the flavors that we have in the works right now, the new flavors that we're working on are all animal-based protein flavors. We're gonna probably eventually get as many animal-based protein flavors as we do vegetable-based protein flavors, so that it's equal across the board. Everybody's happy.
If I'm trying to drop body fat, should I lower dietary fat? Laughing face.
Brewing Keto knows what's up. Yeah. He knows what's up. Jeremiah, yay, catching you live. Well, hello, and we are indeed live.
Oh, Mary.
What about another question? Another question?
Thoughts on ancestral supplements, beef organs, etc.
Yeah, so that theirs is all desiccated organ supplements. So basically, I'm not sure if they do a dehydrated or if it's freeze dried. I'm pretty sure it's dehydrated. Pretty sure. Now you can get some freeze dried. Freeze dried is going to retain a little bit more of the nutrient density than a dehydrated will. However, both of those options are much better than none. So the best option is real, fresh organ meat. But if you can't do that, then going with a desiccated liver pill or organ supplement is the next best thing.
I'll admit I'm higher protein than fat. However, I'm fat adapted and feel best on it. Sometimes I do actually crave more fat and then eat high fat that day. So I go off my moods and goals at the moment. If I'm too high protein for too long, I get angsty, angry, hungrier, and not good. That's generally what happens. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. But again, it kind of depends too on, like you're saying, what your goals are. And are your protein grams equal to your fat grams? Are your protein grams higher than your fat grams, or is the caloric load of those grams higher? That's a big distinguishing factor too. Like sometimes, like if a 1-to-1 on protein to fat, like if you've got 200 grams protein, 200 grams of fat, for instance, that's a 1-to-1, but there's significantly more calories coming from the fat than the protein. So some people, put it in the context of I'm equal from a gram basis, and some people put in the context of I'm equal from a calorie basis. And I think a 1-to-1 basis from a gram basis is pretty good for most people for sure.
Under Armour, he said.
Oh yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, we definitely need to meet back up and We haven't really had a whole lot of change to the building since you saw it last, but
Yeah.
we should definitely link back up and get some more barbecue.
I don't think I'm following you. I should probably do that.
I don't even know if I'm following anybody because I've got all my Instagrams jacked up.
Yeah. I'm ready for you folks to have some little savages and experience parenthood.
Crystal's been ready. She's been ready forever.
All right, Robert asked me what was it? I'm gonna make
Next
a joke.
question, please. Truckology 101. Should I jump back up to 2,500, 2,700 calories now, basically overnight, or work it over a 3-week period? You said you on the call that you were at 1,800 to 2,100, and you've been that way for 3 weeks. If you were at 2,500 prior to that 3 weeks, then I would just go ahead and jump back up. Now, if you had been at 1,800 for like 3 months, then you would be more gradual. But in the context of you only being at that low for 3 weeks, I would just go ahead and jump it back up, all at once. What was your comment?
I was gonna say, Robert, we were talking about what the plan was for like each month or whatever, and we went over April, and he's like, "Okay, what's for May?" And I said, "Make a baby."
Deadpan stare.
I got the worst, like, whatever look on his face. So
man, Instagram, if I am angled this way and the phone's angled that way, my arm looks small. We got to redo that video. That's not cool at all. I got to change the angles here. Instagram's that angle. Crystal's that angling me. Your arms are bigger than mine right now.
Yeah. Keto related. What's the quickest way to get back into ketosis?
The quickest way to get back into ketosis is to never get out of ketosis. No, in all seriousness, no. The best thing you can do is burn through. I don't know if you just like totally binged on carbs, had a bunch of high glycemic index food or what, but I would train. And if you really wanted to fast, if you really wanted to jumpstart everything, you could fast for 24 hours, train really hard with heavily glycolytic demanding exercises, and go for a walk and fast the whole 24-hour period. If you did all those things, you'd be registering pretty high on the ketones. But that's kind of going off a deep end. Generally speaking, what I recommend doing is just simply getting back on your plan and don't do any crazy drastic changes, because then you're just going to yo-yo.
My husband and I were married for 9 years before trying to have a baby. She's almost 8 months old now, and waiting for her was the best thing for us. Don't let people rush you. Do it when you're ready. Well, the thing is, when one person is ready when they're like 12 and the next person is ready when they're like 50, you got to find some middle ground here.
Little savages.
Yes, that's Mary. Sounds like people are on my team.
Sunny.
But for real though, we are on the same page. I'm just really pushy.
She's super pushy. Hey, some follow along workout videos with sets and reps would be great. Do you have any videos like that? Yes. If you go to my YouTube channel, there is like a 8-part series on my personal workout split. And we're also going to be adding a bunch of workout tutorials to the new website. So we will have a bunch of content in that regard coming your way.
I haven't been keto in over a year. Yeah, so for that, I would honestly suggest just start eating keto foods. Make sure that when you're adjusting that you are supplementing your electrolytes, since it has been quite a while. Generally speaking, people who have a cleaner diet before they start keto will have an easier transition. Like if you're not eating a bunch of sugary items, then you're gonna have a lot easier time transitioning. But I would just start, switching over your foods into keto foods, and that's honestly gonna be like the best way of getting keto adapted. Maybe not the fastest way, but allowing your body to just do that natural switch on its own.
Michelle says, my ketones average about 0.2 or 0.3 daily. If I fast, I'll get over 0.5. Do I have to be over 0.5? You don't have to be over 0.5. It also kind of depends if you're in a caloric surplus or in a caloric deficit. So I could do a super high fat ratio in the context of being at a surplus, and my ketones are always going to be lower than that same fat ratio in the context of me being in a deficit. So that matters. That has some context there. However, if at all times you're simply eating quality ketogenic foods, then you're fat adapted. If you're feeling good, your energy levels are good, your performance is good, your strength and training is good, your recovery is good, your sleep is good, then you're doing everything right. If you feel good and you're not eating any carbs, then your body is using fat and ketones for fuel, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Haha, my sister just got married in December and people are already asking her about a baby. She's 32 though. Yeah. It was the same for us. My husband is the best dad. Waiting for him was well worth the wait. I understand you 1,000%. Yes.
This definitely turned into a baby discussion
But
instead
that
of a
is
keto
a huge
discussion.
topic, though. It really is, and it does matter. It's a whole thing. But yes, and you are totally right. And when people do ask me or say, it's funny when people are like, "Oh yeah, just tell him that, you're not going to go for that anymore unless he does want to, whatever." But hold on. But it is like that is usually my answer. Is like I would wait 12 more years. Don't go away. Don't go away with that. Don't try and add 12 years to it. But I would rather wait so much longer for him to be super excited, super mentally ready, less stressed, and be all in than do it when I'm ready only. And then he's not as excited. Like I want to be excited together. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you feel me on that because not a lot of people do.
Yeah. All right. This is a long question here. Stephen Chambers says, "Hi, Robert, 56-year-old male, 5'10", 192 pounds, 21% body fat, CrossFit 5 to 6 days a week, somewhat physical job, started DSK Monday. I'm at 2,225 calories, 197 fat, 101 protein, 10 carb. Workouts are going well. I'm just not sure if I'd be better on one-to-one. With you, just don't want to miss out on muscle gain and such. Main focus is lose body fat and keep or improve strength. Haven't checked ketones lately." So DSK is great. I mean, I made it. I vouched for it. It's super solid, but it's self-led. So you're not going to get the individualized. I mean, it is individualized because it's based off of the numbers that you're putting in there for yourself. But nothing is going to beat 101 from a just individuality standpoint. However, it's cheaper, so I'm not sure what your price point is there. With regard to your total caloric intake, I don't know what your maintenance intake is. That may I'd be curious to know if 2,225 calories is a good healthy maintenance intake for you to start out, or maybe a slight deficit. So I don't know what your intake was prior to starting the DSK, but that would be relevant. But it's kind of really just comes down to if you want to do the more self-guided route, or if you really want to dive into the nuance that comes with working with someone one-on-one and all their individual intricacies. I'm happy to work with you one-on-one if you want to go that route, though. Faux show. Joshua says, JS is an Excel spreadsheet with the workouts in macro calculator you use would be awesome. JS. What is JS? I feel like JavaScript, but that's not it. What is JS, Joshua? Let me know. Hi, guys. Hi.
And you shouldn't feel rushed. I'm 22 and still have never been on a first date. Well, I was Robert's first girlfriend.
Yeah.
So there's that. And we went on our first date. You were 22? Yeah, 22.
I guess so.
So you're not too far off from Robert.
Yep.
My dad was 40 when I was born. Best dad in the world.
Boom.
On another note, thank you for last week's advice regarding increasing my fat for better performance on the mat jiu-jitsu. Felt much better and kept faster pace. Thanks a bunch. See, we're telling you.
I love that. I love that.
We'll do it.
That's where you get your energy from.
Thank you for following up with that. That means a lot to, find that, the advice that we're giving is actually helpful.
JS is just saying. That makes sense. All right. So Joshua, the question was an Excel spreadsheet with the workouts and the macro calculator you use would be awesome. If that makes you sense. Go to the video that I published on Monday, which is a current keto building phase update video, I included in the description of that video a downloadable link to my workout template spreadsheet. So feel free to use that for sure.
Are we old people? How do we not know what JS meant?
A lot of things mean JS. JavaScript, JanSport.
There was another one the other day, like, in my opinion, IMO. I had no idea. I was like, what does this IMO mean? Okay. Do you have cravings during certain times of the month? Do you, Robert?
No,
Just
not
kidding.
typically.
I struggle 8 months postpartum and hormones are crazy. How do you combat cravings? So I do get some cravings, but really they're not crazy. I tend to crave like melted cheese and like almonds or like something crunchy.
And honestly, you're gonna have much fewer cravings if you're at a healthy caloric maintenance or surplus.
Yeah,
Like when you're in a deficit, your
Well,
cravings go through the roof.
if they're postpartum, probably they're just going through
Yeah.
hormonal changes. But a lot of it is just going to be mind over matter or trying to find an alternative. So like if I'm craving melted cheese, I'll just have melted cheese. But like say I wanted like ice cream. I would rather make like a homemade shake than go get a crummy sugar loaded ice cream, or like even getting like the, what are those ice creams called?
Rebel.
Ice cream is even better than, than a sugary loaded ice cream. So whatever it is that you're craving, choose a better option. You don't always have to just like totally get rid of your cravings unless you're trying to be really strict with your macros or something. If you're craving something, you can definitely have something very similar to it, or just making it yourself is a really good option.
All right, ladies and gents, we have to go.
We have to go.
I have to go run.
Robert has to run. And it's raining.
It's raining in the run, burning in the rain.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions on here, so we'll see if one of them is.
For cravings, I found that I raised my fat. I didn't have them or drank flavored K-Cup coffees.
Oh, that's
there you go.
Good. Robert, can you please invite Corey G on podcast to talk about his anabolic fasting protocol?
Corey G. Can you like DM me his Instagram profile? I don't know if I know Corey G, but I'd love to talk to him.
I saw in the building video on Monday, you take a rest day every 4th day and deload every 4th week. Is that something you advise doing consistently throughout the year, no matter what phase of training?
It depends. I mean, a lot of the deloads, a good deload week is every 6 to 8 weeks or so.
Yeah.
That deload week was earlier in that spreadsheet simply because I had trained several weeks prior to that was not documented in that spreadsheet. Like it was.
Yeah, generally speaking, we don't take a deload every 4 weeks. It's usually every 6 to 8.
Chocolate peanut butter keto bricks have been my go-to for cravings. There you go.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Okay, so we don't have any questions. Should we do another thing like this? Like our favorite something?
How fast is your run?
Slow.
Faster than you. It depends. Like sometimes I did a sub 7 minute. I did a 6 something. I did like a 6:30 mile the other day, which is pretty quick. But oftentimes it'll be like 8.5 minute mile.
Oh, just ate my last buttered maple pecan brick. Now I'm sad.
Ooh, what's up, Triple G Auto Detailing? Yeah, butter maple pecan brick. Now I'm sad. When should we bring that flavor back? It's like a fall seasonal flavor. But when should we bring it?
It's fine. I already told him when.
When should we bring it back?
Everyone's gonna agree with me.
We did tell people that we were gonna bring it back though.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go run and then I'm gonna cook a steak tomorrow.
Hey guys, just signed on. Great to see you. Oh, well, we are signing off, but it was great to be here with you.
What's up, man? Can you make a post?
Subject of caffeine.
Of all the books I said I want to order them. Of all the books I said.
Make a book. Whose book they missed?
Yes. What about the subject of caffeine? We can talk about caffeine.
Yeah. Caffeine is going to be next week's question.
Yes.
Today's topic was books. We have all of the books, all of them. They're all over here. But if you restart it, it will be up in just a minute, and then you can watch. The first 10 minutes is us talking about books.
Yep. All right. Until next time, y'all. Signing out. Ta-ta for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.